Good morning, students. Welcome to the class on spectroscopy. Today we will start UV visible spectroscopy. We will see what is UV light, what is the instrumentation for UV visible spectroscopy. We will see Beer-Lambert's law for absorption of light. Then we will see some previous problems. UV visible spectroscopy was the first spectroscopy used to identify the organic compounds, but due to its limited use and availability of more advanced spectroscopic techniques, nowadays it is of little use in predicting the structure of organic compounds. Generally, we used to apply sunscreens in summer due to the heavy sun. What is the story behind sunscreens? The ozone layer, which is on the top of atmosphere, that protects us from high energy radiations. That means UV ozone layer will block all high energy radiations such as UV, X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays. Only the low energy radiations such as visible light, IR, microwaves, radios, they will be allowed to pass through ozone layer. So ozone layer is very, very important for the life on Earth. So we need to protect ozone layer by decreasing the use of chlorofluorocarbons. Now, due to the increased pollution, some parts of ozone layer is depleted. So sometimes it is possible to have UV light passed through these damaged portions of ozone layer. So we are now exposing to UV light. When we expose to UV light, it causes skin burns, what we generally call as sunburns, skin cancers, and aging effects. Generally, UV light is classified into three types: UVA ranging from 315 to 400 nanometers, UVB ranging from 290 to 350 nanometers, UVC ranging from 180 to 290 nanometers. UVA is the lowest energetic UV radiation. Generally, ozone layer will not screen this. So UVA is allowed to pass through ozone layer, but melanin, the pigment melanin, which is present in our skin, will generally absorb UVA light. So even when we expose to UVA light, it will not be harmful because of the melanin pigment. Now, because of the damage to the ozone layer, if UVB and UVC are passed through the ozone layer, then we will expose to UVB and UVC. Generally, these will be filtered by ozone layer, but if there is any damage to the ozone layer, then we will have UVB and UVC. So it is important for us to develop sunscreens which will absorb UVB and UVC. Generally, UVC will not be passed through ozone layer. So sunscreens mainly aimed at absorbing UVB. A good sunscreen must absorb both UVA and UVB. Initially, organic molecules which can absorb UV light were used as sunscreens. One such one is the PABA, para-amino benzoic acid, which will absorb only UVB. This is the first commercially available sunscreen. Similar one is Padmetuo, which will absorb UVB. But a good sunscreen is give tan F, which absorbs both UVA and UVB. Now, the amount of protection provided by a particular sunscreen is indicated by sun protection factor, SPF. Higher the SPF, greater is the protection. So when you go to buy a sunscreen next time, you look for these terms, whether it is give tan F, what is its SPF factor, all other things. Even the most advanced one is zinc oxide material, which reflects the complete UV range. So compared to organic compounds, zinc oxide is even better sunscreen. Now we will look at the instrumentation of the UV visible spectroscopy. For any general spectroscopy, we must have a light source which produces a particular light. Then we will have this light is allowed to pass through a grating which blocks all other radiations except only one light radiation. So that light radiation is allowed to fall on a specimen. It will have some interactions. Then the light which is passed through the specimen will be detected by a detector. So the interactions will be detected by the detector. So that gives signal to the computer. In UV visible instrument also, it is the same thing. We will have a light source which passes through a grating. This grating will allow a single wavelength light to pass through it, which is called monochromatic light. Monochromatic light means light having a single wavelength, whose of course the intensities I will discuss little later. Then monochromatic light is allowed to pass through the sample solution. Then the remaining light will be detected. It is called a single beam UV visible instrument. Generally, we use solvents to prepare solutions. So when we are taking the UV visible spectrum of a solution, we are taking the spectrum of a compound plus solvent. So in order to remove the solvent spectroscopic data, we need to take pure sample spectra. We will subtract the pure solvent spectra and solution spectra so that we will get only pure compound spectra. But so single beam spectrum is little bit time taking process, so we need to take two spectra for a compound. The more advanced one is double beam instrumentation, where the monochromatic beam produced will be split into two beams. One beam is allowed to pass through the sample solution and the other beam is allowed to pass through the reference, in the sense pure solvent. So detector will detect these differences. So it will calculate the difference and then it will give you the spectrum of pure compound. So whatever we want to have spectrum. We will have two light sources for UV visible spectrum spectroscopic technique. The deuterium lamp for UV source, tungsten lamp for visible light source. When we pass light onto the sample solution, sample absorbs light. So the process of absorption and the calculations were derived by Beer-Lambert's law. Wilhelm Beer and Johann Heinrich Lambert were individually working on absorption of lights. So they proposed this Beer-Lambert's law. When monochromatic light whose intensity is I naught is allowed to fall on the sample solution, sample will absorb some of the light So the intensity of light absorbed is IA, and the remaining light will be transmitted. So that is the IT, intensity of light transmitted. So when we pass a monochromatic light of intensity I naught through a sample solution, IA will be absorbed, IT will be transmitted. IA, of course, we know it is a fixed quantity. IT will be detected by the detector. So if we want to know IA, it is just the difference of IA, I naught minus IT. Now, what is Lambert's law? Equal fractions of the incident radiation are absorbed by successive layers of equal thickness of the light absorbing substance. And in simple, if you make this sample solution into 10 parts, and if 100 is the value for IA, then each part will absorb 10. First part 10, second part 10, something like this. That means each successive layer of the solution will absorb equal amount of light. That is minus di by I proportional to dl, where I is intensity of light, L is thickness of the sample. When we rearrange this equation, minus di by dl proportional to I, so that is another definition of Lambert's law. The rate of decrease in the intensity of the radiation with the thickness of the medium is proportional to the intensity of the radiation, minus di by dl proportional to di. So according to Lambert's law, equal fractions of the solution will absorb equal amount of the light incident. What is Beer's law? The fraction of intensity of light absorbed by a solution is proportional to its concentration, that is minus di by I proportional to C. Beer and Lambert have worked independently. So the combination of Beer and Lambert's is what is called Beer-Lambert's law. Beer-Lambert's law gives the relationship between absorbance, concentration, and length of the light path. We know minus di by I proportional to dl from Beer's law, from Lambert's law, minus di by I proportional to C from Beer's law. So when we combine them, minus di by I proportional to C into dl, when we remove proportionality, minus di by I is equal to alpha C dl, where alpha is a proportionality constant. When we integrate this equation between the limits, what are the limits for light? For light, it is the initial intensity is I naught, final intensity is IT. For the length, it is length. So initially it will be 0, finally it will be length of the tube. Say for example, L. So when we integrate it between the limits I naught to IT and 0 to L, integral minus di by I is equal to alpha is a constant. C, of course, we will prepare the solution. So we know the concentration of the solution, it is a constant. Integral dl. What is the integration of 1 by x? It is log x. So ln L. We don't take log directly in case of derivations. What we take is ln. Ln minus ln I is equal to alpha c. Integral of dx is nothing but x. When we substitute limits, it becomes ln it minus ln I naught. Log a minus log b, nothing but log a by b. So minus ln it by I naught is equal to alpha CL, or minus, when we convert ln into log, we need to multiply it with 2.303. So minus 2.303 logarithm of it by I naught is equal to alpha CL, or minus logarithm of it by I naught is equal to epsilon CL. This is minus log it by I naught is considered as A absorbance. Here epsilon is nothing but alpha by 2.30. Now, what is the difference between logarithm and ln? Ln is base e, log is base 10. So A is equal to epsilon Cl is the Beer-Lambert's law, where A is absorbance or optical density, because it is a ratio of intensity to the intensity. It doesn't have any unit. So A is a unitless quantity. C is concentration of the sample. Generally, we measure it in moles per liter. L, length of the light path. Generally, we will place the solution in a cell. So length of the light path is nothing but the length of the cell which we use in UV visible instrument. So it is again a fixed quantity. Generally, we will have 1 centimeter length cells. Epsilon is molar absorptivity. It is also called as molar extinction coefficient or molar absorption coefficient, whose units are, it can be derived from this expression because A is unitless, concentration C is a concentration which is expressed in moles per liter. L is length which is expressed in centimeters. So epsilon is 1 by Cl, nothing but 1 by concentration, 1 by centimeter. So it becomes mole inverse, centimeter inverse, or we can say liter per mole per centimeter inverse. Generally, we express liter in decimeter, so decimeter cube per mole per centimeter inverse. Now, epsilon is a constant and it is a characteristic of a particular wavelength. At the same time, it is also a characteristic of the material. It is defined as the absorbance observed for 1 molar solution in a cell width of 1 centimeter path length. That means if you make one concentration 1 molar and length 1 centimeter, then epsilon is nothing but absorbance. So it is defined as the absorbance observed for 1 molar solution in a cell width of 1 centimeter path length. Again, alpha is also known as absorption coefficient, and it is a characteristic of given material and the wavelength of the radiation which we use. There are some limitations for Beer-Lambert's law. We must use monochromatic light for studying the absorption of lights. Beer-Lambert's law is applicable only when we use monochromatic light. If the light source is not a monochromatic light, then Beer-Lambert's law doesn't hold good. Also, Beer-Lambert's law is applicable only for dilute solutions. If we prepare concentrated solutions, then Beer-Lambert's law doesn't hold good. Even when we want to collect the data, and if you use concentrated solution, generally it will not give a good spectrum. So in order to get a good spectrum, we need to use dilute solutions, generally in the order of 1 millimolar solutions. Also, the temperature of the system must be constant when we operate the instrument. The temperature may be allowed to vary to a very little amount. If the temperature is not constant, then Beer-Lambert's law does not applicable to the experiment. So the Beer-Lambert's law is not applicable if the light source used is not a monochromatic, if the solution is not a dilute solution, and if the temperature changes during the experiment. For most UV visible spectrophotometers, as I said, cell is fixed. So the length of the cell is fixed. Mostly it will be 1 centimeter. So the path length of the light is nothing but 1 centimeter. concentration should be very dilute. Generally, it will be of the order of 1 millimolar, nothing but 0.001 molar. When we look at the epsilon values, if the epsilon values are from 10 power 4 to 10 power 6, then these can be termed as high intensity absorptions. If the epsilon values are ranging from 10 power 3 to 10 power 4, they are called as low intensity absorptions. If the epsilon values are from 0 to 1000, these are called forbidden transitions. I will explain what are forbidden transitions in the next slide. Now, how the UV visible data will look like. The UV visible data will be plotted in terms of a graph. On the y-axis, we used to take absorbance A. On the x-axis, we used to have wavelength in nanometers. Now, when we pass light onto a specimen, if the molecule absorbs UV light, it gives a peak. If there are one type of electronic transition, it will give one peak. If there are two types of electronic transitions, it will give two peaks. Now, you see, this is the model UV visible graph, and what we report is we report the maximum wavelength, lambda maximum. The lambda maximum is the value where the intensity is maximum. So that is why it is placed on the top of the peak. So that means whenever we take UV visible data and when we are reporting it, we report lambda maximum value. So what is lambda maximum? It is the wavelength at the maximum intensity. Since A, absorbance is proportional to epsilon, we can also represent epsilon on y-axis, or we can also represent log epsilon value on y-axis. So it's not a problem. We express absorbance or log epsilon. In general, we express absorbance. Since we also represent it in terms of epsilon, so based on the epsilon values, we say it whether it is high intensity absorption or low intensity absorption or forbidden absorption. We will also discuss about transmittance. It must be called as percentage of transmittance. The ratio of intensity of transmitted light to the intensity of incident light is called as the percentage of transmittance. So percentage of transmittance is nothing but ratio of IT by I naught. We know A is equal to minus logarithm of IT by I naught. So A is equal to minus log T. When we make this minus inside the log, it becomes T power minus 1, and nothing but A is equal to logarithm of 1 by T. If we bring this log this side, it becomes 10 power minus A. T is equal to 10 power minus A. T is equal to 10 power minus epsilon CL. In precise, what I said, it is not just transmittance, it is percentage of transmittance. So A is equal to logarithm of 1 by percentage of transmittance. When we want to convert this percentage into numbers, what we will do, we will divide it with 100. T is already in denominator, so if we take one more denominator, it becomes numerator. So logarithm of 100 by T. Log A by B, so it can be simplified as log A minus log B. Log 100, log 10 square, so 2 into log 10 value is 1. So A is equal to 2 minus log T, where we don't need to, if we use this expression A is equal to 2 minus log T, we can simply take the number, we don't take percentage. I'll give you some shortcuts. 0% transmittance is nothing but infinity times of absorbance. 0.1% transmittance is nothing but 3 times absorbance. 10% transmittance is nothing but 1 times absorbance. 100% transmittance is 0%, 0 times absorbance. These may be useful for competitive exams. When we draw a graph of percentage of transmittance versus concentration, it looks like this. A graph of absorbance versus concentration will give you a straight line graph which is passing through the origin, because absorbance is proportional to concentration. It gives a straight line graph which is passing through origin. Now we will see some problems. The unit of molar absorptivity is molar absorptivity, molar extinction coefficient. So it is 1 by concentration, 1 by centimeter. So liter per mole per centimeter inverse. Now we will see this problem. A cuvette of 0.5 centimeter length, path length, and 10 power minus 4 molar solution of a chromophore shows 50% transmittance at a certain wavelength. The molar extinction coefficient of the chromophore at this wavelength is, we were given some value. So we will try this problem. We were given path length as 0.5 centimeters, concentration as 10 power minus 4 mole per decimeter cube. We were given percentage of transmittance as 50%, and we were asked to calculate epsilon. How do we calculate epsilon? From Beer-Lambert's law, we know A is equal to epsilon CL. We can rearrange it for epsilon A by CL. L was given, C was given, but not A. So to calculate A, we were given percentage of transmittance. We know the relation between absorbance and transmittance. A is equal to 2 minus log T. If you use this expression, we don't represent percentage, we can directly take this 50. So A is equal to 2 minus log 50. A is equal to 2 minus log 50, so it is 1 point. What is the value of log 5? Log 5 is 0.699. Now the difference is 0.103. In other words, we can also take 50% for transmittance and we can calculate it. A is equal to minus logarithm of 1 by T. A is equal to minus logarithm of, when you want to have percentage, we need to use this formula. A is equal to minus logarithm of, what is 50%? If you want to convert this 50% into numbers, we need to divide it with 100. When we 50 by 100, 1 by 2. So it is in the numerator, so it can be made, it is denominator, so it can be made numerator. Minus point. Sorry, it is not minus, right? 0.301. So we will get the same thing. Right. Now we know epsilon absorbance value, C value, L value. Therefore, to find out epsilon, we need to substitute all these values. 0.301 by C, 10 power minus 4 mole per decimeter cube, length 0.5 centimeters, nothing but 1 by 2 centimeters. So epsilon is equal to 10 power 4, so 0.3 into this 2 multiplication. When it is made numerator, it becomes 10 power 4. Units are decimeter cube, per mole per centimeter. So 2 into 0.3, 0.301, right? So it is 206.602 into 10 power 4 decimeter cube per mole per centimeter. So 0.602 into 10 power 4, nothing but 6020 molar inverse centimeter inverse. Now look at this problem. It is a very simple problem. The absorbance of a solution having 20% transmittance is. So transmittance is given. We need to calculate the absorbance. So we were given percentage of transmittance as 20%. We were asked to calculate the absorbance. We can use this formula A is equal to 2 minus log T, where we directly substitute 20 in place of transmittance. 2 minus 1 point, because it is 20, it is 1 point, log 2 0.3010. So the difference is 0.699. So the absorbance value is 0.699. A solution has a molar absorptivity at a wavelength. Find the concentration of this solution that has an absorbance which is equal to 1.65 in a cell of 1 centimeter in length. So we were given molar absorptivity, epsilon value. We were given lambda value. We were given absorbance value. We were given L value. So we were asked to calculate concentration. So we were given epsilon value of 1.8 into 10 power 5 liter per mole per centimeter. Lambda value 606 nanometers, it is 600. We were asked to calculate concentration. We were also given absorbance value. We were also given path length. We know the relation between epsilon C, AL, it is Beer-Lambert's law. So lambda was not required for us. Now, Beer-Lambert's law, A is equal to epsilon CL. We can rearrange it for concentration, A by epsilon C, A by epsilon into L, 1.65 divided by epsilon 1.8 into 10 power 5 liter per mole per centimeter inverse, and L 1 centimeter. So we can cancel out 1 centimeter. Now, when we can take it as 1.6 or 1.7 by 1.8 into 10 power 5 can be made numerator 10 power minus 5. It becomes mole per liter. So it is almost 0.9 into 10 power minus 5 moles per liter. Now look at this problem. A solution containing a metal complex absorbs at 480 nanometers with molar extinction coefficient of 15,000 into 10 power 5 liter per mole per centimeter. If the path length of the cell is 1 centimeter and transmittance is 20.5%, the concentration of the metal complex is. We were given lambda value 480 nanometers. We were also given epsilon value 15,000 into 10 power 5 liter per mole per centimeter. We were given path length 1 centimeter. we were given transmittance 20.5%. We were asked to calculate concentration. So it was a similar problem where we need to calculate A from transmittance, then we substitute in Beer-Lambert's law. Here lambda is an unnecessary quantity. Now, how do we calculate it? T A is equal to 2 minus log T. 2 minus log 20, you can directly take 20. So 2 minus 1.3010 log 20. So it is 1 point, log 2 value 0.3010. So absorbance value is 0.699. When we substitute it in the Beer-Lambert's law and we rearrange it for concentration 0.699 by epsilon 15 into 10 power 8 liter per mole per centimeter into 1 centimeter. So centimeter gets cancelled. Now it is 0.699 by 15 into 10 power minus 8 mole per liter. We can since the answer was given in 10 power minus 10, so we can make it 69.9 by 15 into 10 power minus 10 mole per liter. 15 fours, 15 6. So 4.6 into 10 power minus 10 mole per liter. So the answer is 4.59 into 10 power. You can try this problem. I will explain this in later classes. Thank you.